It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey.
And Murray.
Yo.
Hey there, Merman. All right, so with the introductions out of the way, wait for it. Let's rage on.
Oh, tasty. Well, thanks to who all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please support us and join the growing Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. All members get special episodes and content only for members, and all members that sign up will get a limited edition Film Rage merch item. If you cannot support us by joining our membership, then you can buy us a terrible movie rental to watch, and we will watch it. Thanks to all our listeners from all over the world, but mostly our US and Canadian listeners who are crushing downloads for us. However, some big love to some new listeners from countries that have recently felt the rage, all the way from Indonesia, Brazil, Philippines, Singapore, Slovakia, Turkey, and Vietnam. So glad we are able to spread our rage like vegan margarine all over the globe, like delicious, tasty toast. Thinly, but deliciously.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That sounds gross.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We got a few listens, but there wasn't as much juicy vegan margarine like we do from, US and Canada.
All right, then.
Just thick gobs of vegan margarine.
Yeah, let's move on. Movies are back at Canyon Meadows Cinemas. We are open for your viewing pleasure with great new films opening weekly. All health-regulated protocols are in effect for a safe and enjoyable experience. And don't forget, we should be your first choice for your next birthday party or special event. Can't make it to the cinema? We got you covered. Order concessions from our online store, and you can either choose curbside pickup or get them delivered via Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, or DoorDash. For more details, go to canyonmeadowscinema.ca. Here at CMC, we would like to thank you for your continued support, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the movies.
We've been streaming, and we've been streaming, and doing what?
Streaming, Jim.
And Murray did some streaming, but not all on the weekend.
Streaming. But not what you think.
Porn.
Exactly what I thought.
Porn.
Not what you think.
Some porn.
All right, let's start with something that was on Prime.
There's not even a dum-dum or a dum-dum or a dum-dum.
Yeah, it's
just Prime.
Just
People
Prime.
who have Prime dum-dums.
Just
so
Prime.
Just Prime.
Speaking of dum-dums.
All right, on Prime, we just had to watch what was on Prime this week because it stars Riz Ahmed. And I, personally, am a big fan of Riz Ahmed, so I was really looking forward to this. Movie's name is Encounter. Riz Ahmed stars as a father who is trying to save his children from an impending alien threat. It is anchored by some great acting from Riz and his on-screen children. As well as Octavia Spencer, who, as his parole officer was kind of brilliant in this, really, I thought. The first half of this was suspenseful and thought-provoking. It was very well written, and for some reason, it took a strange, unnecessary turn. It sort of turned into a revenge flick, complete with some gun-toting good old boys, and from that point, the movie lost me. Why did they take this fantastic film I was watching about a father on the edge and turn it into some dumb action movie? Still, the ending was effective. The performances were great. And the first half plus, a little more than the first half, was really, really good. The very end salvaged the film. I just wish we could have avoided the Magma Boys tangent that it took. So that makes this a meh, which for me is just, I can't believe I'm giving Riz Ahmed movie a meh, but it was so good for a while.
Meh.
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing.
It's not cool, but it was so good for darn near an hour, and then as soon as he broke into that guy's house, and then it just really took. So disappointed after that, but I still like the end. I like the standoff, and I like the end. But
are you convincing me or yourself?
I'm not sure what I'm doing.
What do you think, Murd? Did he
I
convince
believe he's
you?
trying to talk himself into a monologue.
Yeah, no, he's trying to convince it it's a meh.
I'm trying to convince it's a meh, not a rage.
It's already on tape. It's already on tape.
It's definitely not a rage, because once again, Riz Ahmed was brilliant. The kids were brilliant. Octavia Spencer was very good. It was just so well acted.
The Super Spencer.
She really was. It was a lot of good.
As opposed to when she was in that superhero movie. Remember when she was
I do remember that. But yeah, no, I don't know why this took this Magma Boy, good old boys tangent that just yeah. Anyways, long story short, we're staying with meh.
Okay, then.
Okay, so like everything Riz Ahmed does, he is outstanding in this sci-fi suspense film. The balance of sci-fi versus mental illness is done pretty great in the first 1/3 of the film. But then it becomes very apparent the sci-fi was all in his head. And the film started a slow descent. Not just into madness, I might add. And the CLFs in this do a great job of acting along the god of all things acting, a.k.a. Riz Ahmed.
Yes.
Riz is so natural in everything he does. I believe he actually doesn't actually act anymore. He just becomes that person for a period of time. The visuals are incredible in this film, inclusive of the cinematography and the super creep critters that all but metaphorically insecticide the film. Added a huge creep factor at the beginning of the film. But as we learned that it was all in his head, they kind of dissipated. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The insect metaphors that they were bringing in kind of dissipated as the movie started to dissipate in greatness. It was like, apparently we needed more insects to make this movie better.
Yes.
I really like the relationship of Riz, and in particular with his oldest son, played by Lucien River Chauhan.
Yeah, I meant to write those names down.
Well, I just did, so it's
Yes.
it's
Props to him.
still on recording here.
Yes.
But as the film progressed, as Bryce had alluded to, I felt that the film lost some of that spark and tension and settled into a common thread of PTSD mental illness that is common of late in films about PTSD common illness. The ending also, I kind of felt, did not come together as dramatically as the film led that it should have, in all honesty. That's my thoughts.
Well, there need to be a chunk chopped out of there and it would have been fine, but
I don't know. I didn't like the very ending.
I like the ending.
I felt they should have tried to keep us guessing longer into the film whether the sci-fi was real. The acting was brilliant by every single person in this film, including Madam Spencer.
Yes.
But the film was meh.
It was so disappointing.
It's almost like that taste in your mouth where it's like you feel bile that's come up. It's like I'm saying the word Riz Ahmed and meh in the same sentence.
It's like when you've got like a favorite band and every album's been great, and then they release that one album where you're like,
but at least this wasn't a rage.
It wasn't.
I mean, we're not saying he's not.
There's a lot of good, and maybe we're holding them up to a different standard too. But it was just meh.
The thing too, when you think about it, he's not necessarily a bad actor. It's the movie wasn't as good as he is.
There's no question. He was still brilliant in it.
Of course.
It's a given. He just is.
It's just the way it is.
Did you watch this one?
No, he doesn't have Prime. And he doesn't like Riz Ahmed. He doesn't like Riz Ahmed like you and I do.
I don't mind him, but...
But you also haven't seen a lot of his movies of late.
I've seen enough.
When was the last movie you saw other than Star Wars?
I saw the one where he was the deaf musician guy.
Okay.
I previewed that.
Sound of Metal. Yeah.
Which one?
Sound of Metal.
No.
Oh yeah.
No, not that one. The other one.
The other one. No, he wasn't deaf in both. He was. He was deaf in one, and he had other issues in the other.
Oh
yeah.
He was a DJ or something, and he was going deaf.
Yeah.
That's a different one than Sound of Metal.
Yeah, they're both deaf.
That's right.
That's his thing for a while. He was
a DJ, and he was slowly going deaf, and he was angry about it.
He's deaf. Why wasn't he deaf in this movie?
Called.
Yeah, Sound of Metal was basically the same thing, except with a drummer.
He was a drummer.
That's why I didn't see it.
They were both brilliant, though.
No, they were completely different films. But anyway, they're both mono.
They're both brilliant.
2 or 3 of his films since Star Wars.
Okay, there you go. You get a pass.
Anyways, he's not okay.
This movie.
He's the best.
He's the best. Exactly. All right, we also streamed something on Netflix. Dumb.
With a capital dumb.
Dumb.
Murray.
Oh, I guess it's my turn.
I guess it is.
Oh, I guess
dumb.
I was lulled to sleep by you guys gushing over Riz Ahmed.
That's not a new thing.
Even when he's in a mad movie, we
The
still
Unforgivable. A woman is released from prison after serving a sentence for a violent crime and re-enters society that refuses to forgive her past. Starring Sandra Bullock. Also with Vincent D'Onofrio and Viola Davis.
That is correct.
Basically, she goes to prison for killing a cop and gets out, and yeah, her life sucks. And
a lot.
She's trying to get her sister, I guess, who was taken away from her, and that's not going so well. And yeah, she keeps getting into fights because people don't like her because she's a cop killer, and she just kind of rolls with the whole thing. So yeah, no, I liked it actually. I thought it was a very tough and gritty performance by Sandra Bullock. Vincent D'Onofrio was always good, and Viola Davis, who I'm not really especially fond of, as you guys know, did an okay job. She wasn't nearly as unlikable as she is in most other movies that I've seen her in.
She wasn't supposed to be unlikable.
That's what I mean. So she actually was normal for a change.
When she's being unlikable, she's supposed to be unlikable in the movie, though, Murray.
Well, then she does a good job of it.
I know. That's why we're saying she's so brilliant.
Because I pretty much don't like her in anything. But
exactly.
This she wasn't bad in.
Because she's brilliant.
Yeah, the story had its ups and downs. I mean, I wasn't crazy about the way it ended, but I thought there'd be a little more action in it. But yeah, it was a meh. I didn't mind it.
All right. I'm excited about that, meh. I guess that's me next.
According to this, it is.
See, this is what I do. I organize our lives. That's all I can say. So, The Unforgivable. Yes, we all know Sandra Bullock is in this, but you had me at Viola Davis and John Boy Walton, a.k.a. Richard Thomas. This story is very full of layers. They do a great job with all the characters developing each one individually, which doesn't happen very often in film in general. But when you have this many characters and the level of character development on this was done brilliantly. The cast is incredible in addition to motherfucking Viola Davis. We also got, as mentioned, Vincent D'Onofrio and the once undoubted John Bernthal.
John Bernthal, yeah.
That's right. This role for Sandra Bullock, in my opinion, was a very complex character than we're used to seeing her play. And I gotta admit, I feel she nailed this role. I felt Sandra at times has not had much depth and range, but in this role, in this movie, that I felt that proves, in my opinion, that maybe she did earn that Oscar. I'm just saying. Not like I care about Oscars.
Are you like being ironic or
No,
something?
I am not.
Okay.
I thought she was brilliant. I thought she
right.
didn't. I thought you don't like her. So you must have had some kind of...
I thought she was fantastic in Wrestling Ernest Hemingway.
I thought she was fantastic in this. Because it wasn't anything close to a rom-com.
Going. I just don't understand what's going on right now. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
No, I thought she was brilliant. And, I have hope for what she's going to do next, and especially if she does Bird Box 2, which I hope she does.
I just like that she didn't stick to her, basic formula of doing comedies.
Yes. Well, not just that, rom-com. She's been in so many rom-coms and so much. This was a step outside for her.
Yeah,
I thought
she herself admitted she likes to make people laugh. This role was so far outside of that.
Yeah, it was.
Showed her
I thought she did an amazing job. I thought the grittiness of her character was fantastic. The subject matter of this film was complex, layered, deep, controversial, and dramatic. The characters seemed real, in my opinion, and their emotions and responses seemed real to the situations that they were put under. And a lot of what's happening is traumatized to pretty much everyone in this film. So much went on in this film and this story that I didn't expect. I loved her in it. I like this film a lot. I also give it a meh.
Okay, I barely prepared for this because I thought I was just going to have to say ditto after you. Mm-hmm. But I cannot. Oh my God. What were you guys watching?
I was watching that film.
That movie was a mess.
No.
Oh, it was. And it started like right from that stupid scene where she's standing in the field of her childhood home or whatever.
Yep.
And they invite her in. And then after that, Viola Davis says something so unbelievably ridiculous. She said, well, that's not even ridiculous, but we're supposed to sympathize with this person.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
No.
She killed a cop. There's no point in that movie where you're supposed to sympathize with her except at the end.
Yeah.
That was it.
No
way. I wasn't sympathizing for her 1 minute. The whole time I was like, I hate her. I think she deserves what she got. Blah blah blah. And then things change, and then you're supposed to sympathize with her. I didn't sympathize with her at all through the whole movie. And the scene with her and Barenthal in the restaurant, I'm like,
no sense.
It made perfect sense.
Made absolutely
so much sense.
None of it made sense.
It all made sense, and it all tied itself up at the end. It was fantastic.
Really?
You know what?
You didn't think that was?
I think I might change my rating.
That was a total.
I actually might think I might change this to a Mondo.
That was a total cop-out twist at the end.
No, it wasn't a cop-out twist. It was a really good, well-done twist.
None of the characters' actions made any sense.
All of the characters made complete sense for what was happening around them. And each family had a different dynamic that was involved.
There's so much going on in this movie.
Yes, there was so much. That's what I liked about it.
Like, what was with this? Like, did we need the side story with the brothers?
Yes.
Why?
Not.
Because it was dumb.
No, it wasn't. It was good.
And then we needed to have him catch his brother cheating on with his wife. And
yes. Yep. Well, because he didn't have a trigger. He was still kind of holding on to some form of semblance of mental stability.
You know what? This movie could have been okay if we ignored.
It was okay.
If we ignored that,
it was very okay.
No, it wasn't. If we ignored that, if we ignored the fact that Viola Davis
was brilliant.
No, she wasn't.
She was fantastic.
No, she wasn't.
Her scene on the every scene she was.
No, she wasn't. She was. This is the worst thing that she's ever been in.
Never.
The worst thing that she'll ever be in.
No.
Sandra Bullock is sitting there just making poo-poo face for 2 hours. Was not tremendous acting. It was just her looking solemn and pouting.
Yep.
It was just a mess. There was so much going on.
Yes, there was so much going on.
Yeah, and none of it needed to tie together.
It all tied together.
The only way that this could be any good, and it can't be any good, is if it was like
it was almost Mondo.
There was so much put into this 2 hours.
Yes.
That you needed like 9 hours to actually flesh it out because it was too much. There was way too much going on.
I think it tied it all up.
No,
it covered super heavy topics and tied it all together really well. I don't know what you're talking about.
It is garbage.
No,
I hated this movie.
She was fantastic, and this movie was pretty good.
Just enjoying you guys fighting.
Okay, here's the thing.
Because you almost always agree on stuff.
Not always.
Pretty much.
So
We're not going to agree on anything this week, Murray. I can almost guarantee it.
You think that this movie needed the revenge angle then?
It had to have the revenge angle.
Why?
Because
it was stupid.
His brother was the one that we thought was going to do the killing.
Wouldn't a more interesting movie have been?
No, the movie that we saw was
Wouldn't a more interesting movie have been?
Yes.
If it was about the dynamic between her and her sister's now parents, I guess.
No, I didn't want that. I wanted to hate Sandra Bullock all the way through the movie, and then get this twist ending, and be happy that I didn't hate her anymore.
I was expecting to hate Sandra Bullock through the entire movie and then still hate her at the end. And guess what? I did. This movie sucked. It was a rage.
Poor baby.
It was so bad. I cannot believe you guys can defend it.
I almost might give it a Murray.
It was garbage.
You are outvoted.
Murray, should we give it a Mondo maybe?
You know what? You convinced me. I'm going to give it a Mondo.
Yeah, I'm thinking again on this. I'm actually giving it a Mondo.
You guys are crazy.
No, it was fantastic, and so was Sandra Bullock.
She was bad. Viola Davis was bad.
Might I add,
Vincent D'Onofrio was bad.
Murray has never said Viola Davis is
bad.
anything but okay, and he said she was good in this.
That's right.
So apparently, I am right. That's 2 Mondos and a rage.
I wish I would have prepared more for this one, because I was just trying to forget about it as soon as I watch it and thinking, well, I'm following Jim, so he'll kind of remind me of the stuff that I need to rage about. And you didn't. You're sitting there glowing about the whole thing.
I liked the movie.
It was just a mess. Just a mess of a movie.
I loved so many storylines that all tied up, and the characters were also well developed because there's so many dynamics that were happening all at the same time.
No, nothing made sense.
It all made sense. Made perfect sense.
I don't know what you were watching.
I was watching The Unforgivable.
Yeah, it was
Sandra Bullock.
It was unforgivable that they made this movie.
It was unforgivable. It wasn't another hour. I would have loved to sit through another hour of it.
I think it needed to be like 8 more hours to make any sense with all they're trying to cram into it.
I'll write you some Cole's notes on the whole complexity of it.
I would love to read them so that I can come back on the air and say, you're still wrong.
Well, let's talk about another film that I know we're going to disagree on.
Well, I guarantee.
Which is Agnes. VOD, because we're not Vancouver or Toronto. We're just little old Calgary.
Apparently Calgary's not big enough.
Not big enough to get this. So, as some of you may or may not know, this is the latest Mickey Reese film. And I have apparently seen his last film too. And it seems that we're now going to be somehow bound to watching all of the Mickey Reese films because one of us loves him and the rest of us don't. So I don't know what this means, but apparently we're getting outvoted and having to watch Mickey Reese films. That's all I'm going to say up front. Because you know what? He usually does things like promises you vampires, demons, and delivers dialogue after dialogue after dialogue after dialogue, where lots is spoken, but not all is needed. Specifically to tell a concise tale. This film goes in one direction, but almost ends abruptly with no explanation, and then completely changes focus to a completely different movie. It's like you're watching 2 separate short films.
Yep.
There has some great, and I mean great performances in this. Mickey Reese can sometimes, obviously, I've only seen 2 of his films, can get some great performances out of people. But he also has way too much dialogue in his movies, which I'm surprised that Bryce likes because usually he doesn't like anything.
The dialogue
doing
is
anything. It's not. It goes nowhere, and the film goes pretty much nowhere. I still liked the concept of this film. So, as I said last time when we watched a Mickey Reese film, it's Mickey Reese. So it's meh. And why did we call this Agnes? I have no clue why the movie was called Agnes.
That was the one that was possessed.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
was it?
She was hardly in it.
Yeah, she was in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, but she was in it for a very important 10 minutes. She was the catalyst for everything that went on.
Right.
But then Mary was like the central part of the whole movie.
Yeah, why wasn't it called Mary? It would have made way more sense. If it was
Because
Mary.
Agnes was the catalyst.
Oh, catalyst, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways, long story short,
Your
Mickey
turn.
Reese is brilliant. The guy can do no wrong. His dialogue is unbelievable. It's so when they start talking
About nothing.
Absolutely get enthralled with like everything that's being said. And you're gonna have to excuse me for a second because our computer's about to die if I don't plug it in.
5,
So are we just
4,
gonna get it on then?
I hope
3,
this isn't
2,
connected to anything.
1.
What is going on?
I don't
How
know.
are we not
Hey,
plugged in?
Bryce is losing
I'm
his
gonna be
mind
to be
here.
continued here, and you tell me what you thought, Murray, and then I'll come back and I'll wrap this up because I gotta go find a power source.
What's this? How is our power source missing?
Because I pulled it out here to.
Okay, well,
Well, I don't know if we're even recording. Well, we can just.
Well,
This may be an episode that we actually edit.
maybe.
I'm not editing anything.
Okay, well, 5 minutes into watching this movie, I realized I'd seen it already.
What?
I actually previewed this for the festival back in May or June or something like that.
All right.
And I kind of forgotten about it. As I recall, I'd given it, I think, a 4 out of 5, but it didn't get picked for the festival. And then, yeah, lo and behold, I'm watching. I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this. Now, first the good part. It starred 2 of my favorite TV daughters.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I'm going to go there. First one was Molly C. Quinn. I don't know what the C stands for. Who played Richard Castle's daughter for like 8 seasons on Castle. And I loved her. I watched her grow up with her big ginger red hair and precociousness. And it was kind of interesting to see her kind of turn to the bad girl in this movie. Swearing and all kinds of stuff.
Dirty potty mouth that she
Yeah.
had.
The other one was Hayla McFarlane, who played the title role of Agnes.
Oh.
Who was the squeaky clean daughter of Tim Roth in a TV show called Lie to Me. She was a straight A student and did no wrong. And yeah, to see her, spitting out pea soup and swearing at the priests, it was actually quite something to see. But yeah, this movie, it was interesting the first time.
It was so interesting that it was meh.
Sometimes it's unsettling. Sometimes it was funny. Mostly it was just strange. And like you said, it's like 2 different movies.
Yeah.
The first
That
half,
don't even really tie
the
together
first half
well.
was in the convent. And it was Agnes who's possessed by some kind of
Yes,
demon,
and it could have
there
been
was
great if they would have
exorcism.
stayed on
And
track.
the first half of the movie, I had no problem with. And then, much as I like watching Molly Quinn, she left the nunnery, or whatever you want to call it, the convent, and went to the back into the real world and worked at a supermarket, and basically left behind her faith. And yeah, the movie just ended. Like
Yeah,
it, just,
it wasn't good transition.
like it didn't really go anywhere at the end. It just kind of had her talking with one of the old priest guys. It's like, okay, and blah blah blah, and then boom, credits.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? That's how it ends?
So, okay, here's a question for you, Mur. Do you think that if they would have somehow been able to tie the first part to the second part better, do you think that it might have been, like, if you think they
Yeah,
would have ended it differently and they would have somehow tied it in properly
It might have
to
been
the film?
Might have been a better movie if they had, like, tried to give away spoilers, but basically the story doesn't end with Agnes and the exorcism.
Yeah,
It's like most movies about exorcism.
right. But this,
The demon jumps bodies
from the
to somebody else,
experience
but it
from the
doesn't-
experience of Mickey Reese that I have, the 2 films that I've seen, he promises you one thing. He's
Exactly.
like, and then he gives you something else
Yeah.
that's not
That
quite
is
as good
the
as the
brilliance
promise.
of Mickey Reese.
That's not the brilliance of Mickey Reese.
You sit there
That's the
and you're watching a
disappointment of Mickey
movie,
Reese.
and you are so enthralled with this movie.
No, you're not.
And then all
enthralled.
of a sudden,
you're waiting for something to happen that never does.
Then all of a sudden, the movie, it just boom, it turns on a dime, and it's something completely different.
Kate, this is what I don't get about you.
It's like getting two movies in one.
This movie...
But with him, there's brilliant dialogue. There's fantastic camera angles that sometimes don't make any sense.
I'll give you that camera angles. There is camera angles that are cool. I will give you that. But the dialogue doesn't go pretty much anywhere.
Oh, the dialogue's brilliant, and the way he gets them to deliver it.
I'm almost going to change my rating on this.
It makes me just so happy to watch Mickey Reese. I need to see more. Oh, indeed. I just can't get enough of this guy. I hope he continues to make a movie a year because we will be watching every one. Until you finally realize that Mickey Reese is one of the best directors out there right now.
You've only seen 2 of his movies.
I know.
And they're both meh.
And they're both freaking mondo.
Meh.
And I can't see this guy making a bad movie. I want you to see
Climate of the Hunter now. I just want you to see it.
Do I have to?
It is so good.
It's so mad, Murray. It's so mad.
I sat there just like I did with this one.
I was dumbfounded
with
too.
An absolute grin on my face. I was smiling ear to ear.
This is what makes me laugh about you so much. You can go into a Mickey Reese movie and pick shit like that up. But if another movie does some weird turn and you're like, that doesn't even make any sense. That made no sense whatsoever. But if Mickey Reese does it, it's like, oh, he gets a pass because he's quirky.
He doesn't get a pass because within the confines of what I'm watching, it's brilliant. He's the only one that can pull this stuff off.
I think you and him have some connection that Murray and I may never have with Mickey Reese.
Yeah,
I just can't get enough. I tell you, this was so good, so entertaining.
Okay.
I'm assuming
that's enough
you give
of
it a
that.
Mondo then.
Of course, it's a Mondo. It's like you and I might say it's a Mickey Reese movie. It's a meh. And for Bryce, it's Mickey Reese. He doesn't even have to watch it.
That is not true.
He gives it a Mondo.
I will watch it and I will love it.
I watched it without even knowing.
Yeah, I love it.
I watched it without even knowing who the hell he was.
Yeah. Well, I kind of
one of the best directors walking the face of the earth today.
Sure.
But you know what? We got to go to the cinemas also.
Yeah, we did.
And we got to see something that's, I think, coming to Netflix soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish we would have just waited for it to come to Netflix.
I believe, or end of the year or Christmas, something like that.
It cost him a whole gift certificate.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm not
so what was it that we saw that was in theaters?
Don't go to this movie.
Don't look up this movie.
It's called Don't Look Up. And yeah,
it's a movie.
It's a movie. I mean, it swings for the fences, and it's trying to be really, really funny and satirical, and it's 2.5 hours long.
Yes, it was. Keep telling us facts now. Come on.
Yeah. Let's have these facts. It sits there and picks at like low-hanging fruit, and it's lazy. It's a lazy movie. What are we? I don't know. I just don't know what we were watching.
Just give us your rage, and I'll actually describe the movies.
Okay. Well,
I want to see.
I guess the whole premise is that we care about celebrity more than the end of the planet in this.
Which is true.
It's a concept that could work as a satirical endeavor,
it's a complete parody of the last
this
2 years.
is so poorly executed that it crashes before it even has a chance to pick up steam. The apocalypse won't help the upcoming primaries, is what Meryl Streep's character says, which is just like, it's so dumb, just dumb. Jonah Hill as her chief of staff,
right,
is just dumb. From there we get punched in the face with attempts at humor that fall flat, such as DiCaprio's character screaming, "We're all gonna die," on a kid's show. Oh, that's hilarious. For some reason, I found Mark Rylance somewhat amusing in this, playing kind of a Elon Musk, Steve Jobs /
he was great,
Steve Jobs with a little Joe Biden mixed in.
Yeah, he was awesome.
That was the most inspired thing in this movie. This is the worst thing that Adam McKay's ever done in his life. It is just garbage. You go through his movies. Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Loved it. Me, it was a Mondo. Talladega Nights, Battle to Rick and Bobby.
It's good.
Mondo for me. Step Brothers, surprising
It's a
Mondo
meh.
for me. The other guys was a meh.
No, that one
Anchorman
was
2.
also a man.
Mondo.
No,
The
it
Big
was a
Short. Mondo.
That was Mondo.
Vice. Mondo.
That was Mondo.
Don't Look Up. Rage.
Okay, then.
That was garbage.
It was go, Mur. Let's have it. Let's have the truth.
I've never seen a movie try to be funny so hard and fail so miserably. Like, I literally laughed once at something Mark Rylance's character said. Once in the whole movie. You sat beside me. Did you see me laugh at all? Probably
I'm going
not.
to talk about you in my review.
Yeah, good. Because I just sat there just squirming at the garbage I was seeing on the screen. This was a piece of crap. What are you doing, McKay? You make good movies. What was this?
He makes some okay movies.
Rage.
All right, Mur. Tell us your thoughts. Don't Look Up.
Waiting for Rage Man to get done.
Oh,
You know what? I'm not done. DiCaprio, Blanchett, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Timothy Chalamet. Like, you can't make a good movie with these people? For Christ's sake, you had Rob Morgan in it. He's great.
Yeah.
He's crap in this.
I don't know if I'd say that.
You know what? He's not crap in this. That was going too far.
Yeah, well, you've gone
He
too
was
far
just-
already.
He was just
You've
fine.
crossed a line you can't walk back from.
Anyways, and Tyler Perry just continues his streak of garbage. Maybe that was the thing. He put Tyler Perry in and he's like, oh, I made a mistake. Well, I guess my movie's crap now anyways.
It's probably what happened.
So it was so much poo-poo.
I'm sure it was.
How can you not make a decent movie with that cast? it's beyond. This is garbage.
I'm not convinced Meryl Streep hasn't made a bunch of shit in the last while. But Murray, tell us what you thought of Don't Look Up.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Rage.
He's probably going to...
I don't believe you.
I don't believe him either. But keep talking, Mur.
As usual,
Yes.
could not disagree more.
All right.
The only thing I will say is the movie did not need to be 2.5 hours long.
I would agree.
But beyond that, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
There you go.
This was like a parody of everything that's gone wrong like the last 4 years of Donald Trump, and then afterwards. It's like, basically, Meryl Streep was the female Trump, right down to that red hat.
Yeah.
And she basically employed her idiot son as a Secretary of State or whatever the hell his role was.
So you're basically saying Donald Trump's kids are...
Or idiots.
Okay, there
yeah,
we go.
I'll go ahead and say it. I don't care who's listening. Yeah, and then we have these two scientists who basically tell the president that the world is going to end if you don't do something with this damn asteroid. And she, like a Donald Trump type character, completely ignores them and fires all of the scientists who are trying to contradict her. Which is basically exactly what Donald... If somebody had come to Donald Trump 3 years ago and said, there's an
And
asteroid...
told them about climate change?
There's an asteroid coming to Earth.
Wait.
It's going to kill everybody.
Wait, Murray,
he wouldn't
wait.
believe them.
What you meant to say was if the entire world said we're having issues with climate change
Yes.
and we should probably stop using coal,
Yes.
and the rest of the planet started to agree with it, that Donald Trump might say, oh, let's
no.
start back up coal.
Yeah, pretty much.
He might do something like that.
So basically, yeah, I mean...
I'm just checking.
Not to pick too much up on, Mr. Orange Face. But I mean, yeah, this is what would have happened if he was actually the president and somebody had come to him and said, the world's going to end if you don't destroy this asteroid. He would have said, whatever. He would have ignored everybody.
well,
which
we
is
don't
what
know for sure if that would happen,
I'm
but
pretty sure. But that's what I enjoyed it, because it was making fun of him pretty much for 2.5 hours. And yeah, and then the Mike Rylance, whatever, character, yeah, it was bang on. Like, what's his name?
Elon Musk?
No, the other one, Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, he keeps sending people into space. He sent Michael Strahan, an ex-football player and Good Morning Show host.
Oh, that dude.
into space for like one day. Because next day he was back on NFL Fox Sunday. He was gone for one whole day.
Nice.
How many millions did that cost? Then like 3 days later, one of his factories burns down. It's like that Mark Ryland or whatever, he nailed that character.
He did.
Exactly
I thought he was brilliant.
Exactly
always brilliant.
what you would expect from one of these mega billionaire
He's got a movie coming
people.
up I really want to see.
Anyway, no, I thought it was funny. I thought the ending, I couldn't stop laughing at the ending.
The very ending?
Yeah, the very ending. I did miss.
Don't say what it is, but
I did miss the end credits, but because it was 2.5 hours, I had to go to the bathroom. But no, absolutely, I give it a mondo. I recommend anybody who's enjoys a good time to see this movie.
Enjoys a good time all the time.
Exactly.
That's his philosophy.
Mondo.
All right. Well, I think I might split the difference here.
You probably will.
I gotta go get high. This is the most important line in this entire film. When we find out the end of the world is happening, Jennifer Lawrence says the most brilliant thing and pretty much sums up this entire movie. This
have to be high to enjoy this.
Almost. This overly slap in the face with metaphorical spaceshipness of the current state of what I'm guessing is supposed to infer the US and probably the rest of the planet puts me in a bit of a dilemma. On the one hand, this is by far the best acting I've ever seen Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio ever do in any movie ever. But on the other hand, it is quite possibly the worst movie I've seen in a while. There was a few laughs, specifically out loud moments where I was laughing at how terrible some of this dialogue was, and that they made fun of humanity. And then I laughed a few times, a little bit, at how stupid the film was trying to portray it in such overt in-your-faceness. But the best of it was the lyrics of Ariana Grande's song, Look Up. I laughed through the whole time she was singing.
Yeah, it
but
was pretty good.
The best thing about this movie, and I can't tell you how important this is. When we're going to go back into cinemas, seeing a movie by yourself at home on your TV is nothing like seeing it in a crowd of people where you get to hear the laughs and the jump scares and the screaming and the whatever that's happening. That's why we go to the movies. And what if you would have went to it with me. Hold on. What I got to experience through this whole movie and the joy that I had watching Bryce's face all the way through this film, for that reason alone, it gave me so much joy that I actually want to give this movie a mondo. I've never had so much joy watching a movie in my life.
Just watching the agony on my face.
Yes, it gets a mondo for Bryce, Leo, and Jenny. Painful. But the film also made me what I'm guessing was their depiction of the first woman president of the U.S. out to be a complete moron, was a rage. But because I did have so much fun several times in the film's expense, and our two lead actors acted the shit out of this film.
No, they didn't.
And in some parts I didn't hate. I'm going to give it a meh.
There you go. You know what? This in cinema experience, you know what this was synonymous with? The in cinema experience I had watching Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh no, Sonic the Hedgehog was way worse than this.
No, it wasn't. These two movies were equally bad. I put this on a level with Sonic the Hedgehog.
No way.
Yeah, this will be on the worst movies of the year. I guarantee it, because I'm pretty sure this was the worst movie I've watched this year.
I am absolutely serious. I am not kidding when I say Leonardo DiCaprio was probably the best I've ever seen him act.
He was doing a Will Ferrell impression.
He was brilliant in this, and so was Jennifer Lawrence. Sometimes I watch Jennifer Lawrence, I just don't feel that. I feel that she's acting. In this, I felt like she was that character. Same with Leo. Like, he comes on the stage and he was like...
You could have plugged anybody into those roles.
No, he did a great job in that role.
There was nothing to do in those roles.
I don't know. I thought it was good.
Yeah, him screaming the world's going to end on the kids' show. Oh,
He
yeah,
was-
that's right. He's acting the hell out of that.
He's already mentally ill at that point.
Then the puppets talk back to him. We don't like that guy.
That was pretty good, actually.
Oh, so funny.
Now that I'm remembering how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah, there you go.
Garbage.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be high art.
So let's just do a quick recap where we're at right now. So we saw 4 movies, and Bryce and Murray and I have not agreed on one.
Nope.
Just saying, we're batting 1,000 here. Let's see what happens with the last movie. We literally just got out of the cinema, raced here to do our recording.
That we did.
We saw
Oh yeah, right.
the movie The Lost Daughter with our dear friends at SIF, Calgary International Film Festival, sifcalgary.ca.
sifcalgary.ca. Yeah. I
Right?
still don't understand that. Calgary International Film Festival. Calgary.ca.
Yeah,
But whatever.
I don't know. I think eventually they're going to get rid of the Calgary altogether. Who knows?
Yeah.
Kinda
I
need to
think
have
there's another
Calgary.
SIF is why they did that originally.
Oh,
There was.
So
I
that's
think it was
why.
like Cleveland or something.
Yeah, it could be Cleveland.
Yeah, it was like Cleveland International Film Festival or something.
Cucamonga. So this movie is...
Sifcalgary.ca.
Yes. And we love this festival. Like our 2 hometown festivals are the best in the world. I'll arm wrestle anybody to argue that they are. But this movie is coming out for major release in Netflix, I think.
End of the year.
End of the year. So watch for this film. It's called The Lost Daughter, which is Maggie Gyllenhaal's first feature directorial debut.
And written by her as well.
Yeah, you're right. It's based on a book. And actually, it's interesting because I posted some stuff on social media and someone had mentioned to me, oh my God, I read this book. It's so brilliant. I haven't read the book, but I've heard from a few people that it's amazing.
Yep.
And then they couldn't get tickets because it was a sold out show. So
there.
it's fantastic.
They
Get
wait 2
in
weeks,
line
they-
faster.
There.
They
well-
wait 2 weeks, they can watch it. on Netflix.
Exact. Well, it's not. Is it coming out? December
31st.
31st. Yeah, it's synonymous release date.
There you go.
Netflix and limited theaters, 31st.
So you can see this in theaters again, people, or on some kind of streaming, Netflix maybe.
Yeah, go see
Something
it
like
on
that.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, do that. So this movie, the one word that I would say about this is despair. It has complexity. It's very full circle, almost like a snake, which has also some overtone themes in this film.
There's a lot of symbolism.
There is so many layers to unpeel in this film, but at the heart of it, it is a woman doing what she wants to do and suffering, or maybe not suffering, the consequences of her actions.
Sometimes.
This
sometimes
film
not.
has a huge layer of dread and suspense dragged across the entire film that keeps you strung along. I feel that Maggie Gyllenhaal does an amazing job directing Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley in a female tour de force, unparalleled in the ability to show emotion through voyeurism and a look like I have not seen in a long time in a film. The way she's able to pull out the atmosphere and feeling of a shot with one look, I don't think I've seen that done as well as I thought Maggie did in this film. Not since Paul Verhoeven produced the 2016 film Elle have I been as impressed by an intoxicating female character. The character that we get that is spun into Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley in the younger age of it was so captivating and overwhelming to the senses at times. I absolutely love this movie. It's a character story, which, as everybody knows, it's my driver. I don't know how, or I've seen Olivia in a movie as much as I thought she was. Every look she gave was brilliant. It was Mondo.
Murray.
Well, I saw this movie.
We know.
Yes, I did.
We went together.
If you like slow, emotionally layered dramas
Ooh, I do.
with unconventional perspectives, and you know, like this movie.
Oh, this was made for me.
I'm not sure if I totally did it, but
I don't know sure if Murray's that. We just know the movie Murray voted Mondo, and that wasn't this one.
no, it was not. Yeah, no, it was all right. Olivia Colman, as usual, is solid. I mean, I enjoyed her as much as I didn't like her at all in the movie, but she did a good performance. But it's just, I don't know if it was just she was a bad mother or her two daughters were complete brats.
A little from column
Little-
A.
yeah, a little from column B, yeah.
It
There's
was
two
very
words
real.
that I will remember about this movie is screaming kids.
Yeah, they did add that really well.
I literally had a headache from listening to screaming kids for like 20 minutes of this movie.
But what a brilliant
between
directorial
her two bratty
input.
kids and the little girl on the beach who lost her doll.
Yes.
The screaming and crying was like outrageous.
Yes.
I will.
Isn't that brilliant?
I will actually say I sympathized with her a great deal at the beginning of the movie because she goes to this nice quiet island for a holiday getaway, and it gets invaded by this very annoying
So can't
Island.
Okay, but can't you get
family
inside that
that's
character's
bigger.
head? Don't you think
Not
Maggie did
really.
an amazing job putting you the person who doesn't have
Yeah.
kids, you the person who doesn't like
No,
kids,
but as
in her place?
as the child of a parent who basically abandoned him, I had no sympathy for her at all. I actually was liking the family more than her for most of the movie.
But
Like,
you don't
actually-
have to pick a side, Murray.
No, but I actually wanted bad stuff to happen to her. Because
Okay.
as the movie went
So
along,
then she-
I
wait.
disliked her even more as the movie went
Right.
along.
Yes.
I didn't mind her at the start.
right.
Yes.
And then it's like, okay, she's just complete trash. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like her at all.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the family either because they were messed up
Right.
too.
That's right.
Exactly.
Remember
So
when I
it's
said
like-
despair? This
Yeah.
is this movie. It's
See,
despair.
For me, I like seeing a movie where I can cheer for a character or get behind a character. This movie had none of that.
It had no
No,
one.
it
No, there
didn't.
was.
Which is
Wait,
why it was 2
wait,
hours long.
Ed Harris's character, you
And
could cheer
why
for.
I
Oh, no,
was
that
looking,
was
I
also
was looking
bad.
up,
You
I was
liked
looking
Ed
at my
Harris's
watch every
character.
5 minutes
Yeah.
because it was 2 hours of depressingness. So
Is it so much that it made you?
I would not rage about it because it was really well shot and it was a good story. I just didn't like any of the characters, therefore I couldn't get into the movie at all.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a meh.
Okay.
I didn't like it that much,
and it was 2 hours.
and it was 2 hours, not including the 15 minutes of trailers we saw beforehand. So
Okay, so from a question standpoint, this is the movie that makes or break whether we disagree on everything this week, Bryce. I'm just putting that in your hat.
What, the two of us, or
Yes, the two of us, we haven't agreed on anything
really?
on all 4 movies.
Well,
you may have breaking
spoiler alert. Yeah, we agree on this one.
What?
There are so many scenes in this movie that Olivia Colman just absolutely blows me away with.
That looks
She-
on her.
Just the looks on her face. And there's a scene towards the end where she's kind of asked, "So why did you do it?" And she literally like, "I don't know." And I was like, "That
know.
is so perfect."
I know.
I just did it. I don't know.
It was so good. I love this movie. Every frame of it. Maggie Gyllenhaal is a force as a director.
Well, we don't know if she's a force
I
yet,
think
but she's
will
on the
be-
way.
She will be a force
Yeah, but this is the
because
same
this
guy
was
who,
so well put together.
Same guy who's crying that Reese guy after 2 movies. So yeah,
Hey.
let him get 7 or 8 behind his belt. Then we'll see. where
Yes,
he is at.
he's got
actually got
24.
about, he's got like 24. Unfortunately, I haven't
this
seen
is,
any
this
of
is
them.
her first movie.
But
so-
Casey, but you know what? You know what? I actually really dug a lot about this film was this is a female character, and they really show the real emotion that Like even when she was asked by Nina, the one character that's played by what's her face that you're not a big fan of,
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, thank you. That when she asks her and she's, about when she left and why was it such a great thing? Because you know what? People are human. Women are human.
Yeah.
There can be a time where they can't. It was the right thing that she left. Like when you start to see some of the scenes that they kept showing of her past, you think to yourself, you know what? Sometimes you leaving is the right thing to do. Not just for you as the mom, but also you as a person that may do something worse.
How good was the response though when she says that? How was it being away from your kids for 3 years? And she's like, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
But then the tears came.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my, like it was unbelievable.
Yes.
Like this was one of the performances of the year.
Yeah,
I love this movie.
Are you saying this might make the Film Rage Bryce Award of the year?
For Best Actress, maybe. Maybe. She's a front
It's going to
runner.
be tough to come up with one award, people. Yeah. But there will be one. Get ready for that.
Yes.
Right.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Well, sweet, sweet rage. My rage this week, and I haven't shared this with the crew because I wasn't sure what I was going to rage about because I wanted to make sure I got to see every film that we were supposed to see before I could do it. But as some of you may or may not know, I am a huge fan of Maggie Gyllenhaal. I mean, massive fan of Maggie Gyllenhaal. Every movie she's in, I think she's brilliant. And my question and my rage this week, why wasn't she directing movies 20 years ago? That's my rage.
That's it.
That's it. I want more Maggie Gyllenhaal. And apparently I don't want her to wait until she's where she is now in life.
Was she like, what, 20 years old back then?
Yeah, I don't care how old she was. If this is what we're getting, although maybe she's been able to do what she can do because she got to where she is because of where she came from.
You need a little experience
but
first.
She's got experience. She's like 40.
Not at 20, she didn't.
She's 44 years old, so she could have been directing at 30. Maggie, I'm angry with you. Start 10 years earlier next time.
Let's see what she does next.
Let's see what happens in her next life.
Right then.
All right, my rage this week is the fact that we're getting these overly convoluted movies. Simple can be better. You don't need to pack every single idea you've got into a script.
You mean like in Agnes?
No, not like in Agnes. Agnes was very focused. I don't know what you were watching.
No, you can say it with a straight face.
Agnes was focused, laser focused for the first 40 minutes or so. It took a right-hand turn, and it was laser focused for another 45 minutes. So I have no idea what you were watching
20
there.
minutes in between that, it's messed up.
Now, on the other hand, we had Encounter that should have been focused, but then goes on some weird tangent that wrecked the movie. We had Unforgivable. Unforgiven. That was a Clint Eastwood movie.
You're unforgivable.
You're unforgivable.
Unforgivable, which, had it been focused, could have been watchable, even though we had pouty Sandra Bullock through the whole thing, which her performance was
awesome.
Terrible.
Yes.
But there was no focus to it. It was all over the map, and Simple is just better. We don't need every single idea you've got crammed into a movie. Just tell a story, tell it well. Don't crowd it with a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be there. That's my rage.
All right.
Agree.
I have no response.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Come and knock on our door as Force a Crowd welcomes you to Season 2.
Oh my Lanta, this will be fun.
Prepare for hilarious hijinks with your friends Bradley,
I was with the bellboy, keeping him busy.
Cameron,
Yes, you have crow's feet. No, the mirror is not glitching.
Allison,
It's like having Jessica Fletcher right here in the kitchen.
Dylan,
Don't underestimate the importance of body language.
Mrs. Halverson,
Back in the old country, I used to provide conjugal to our local boys in the pokey.
and our narrator.
He's dressed like he walked out of Forever 21, even though in a few years he'll be suddenly 42.
You don't want to miss a single moment of
Of all the men I've slept with,
You could start a hockey team.
Force a Crowd, a sitcom available on a podcatcher near you.
All I can say is, come and knock on our door. It sounds like a lot of fun. All right, I guess it's my turn
It is.
to wrap up this show because we're skipping some things.
We are.
All right. Once again, the Merman is bringing holiday joy to this podcast.
Uh-oh.
This time,
Uh-oh, Raggy.
it's the Netflix holiday film, Father Christmas is Back. Father Christmas is Back. Just shut your pile
So
and listen.
there was a first one?
I don't know. If I may continue,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chatty.
You're just gonna drag.
Exactly. Let me finish. This is my minute, not yours. Apart from Grammar and April Bowlby, as his much too young for him girlfriend, the rest of the cast is as English as it comes.
Okay.
The truly ridiculous part is that Grammar's character is supposed to be English, but somehow lost his accent by living in Florida for 30 years.
Of course.
But I digress.
Okay.
Father Christmas is Back is a comedy centered around four very different sisters who have reunited for Christmas holiday in a Yorkshire mansion, which I have been to Yorkshire, so I enjoyed that. Caroline Christmas Hope, yes, that's her last name,
Wow.
is a control freak who wants nothing more than a perfect Christmas to atone for the fact that their father, James, abandoned the whole family on Christmas Day 30 years previously. Joanna Christmas, played fantastically by Elizabeth Hurley, is a fashion editor who likes expensive clothes almost as much as she hates the country and children. She is truly vicious in this movie. Vicky is a man-eater who changes boyfriends as often as most people change their underwear. Paulina is an introverted music professor who's been writing her PhD thesis on the Beatles for over a decade. John Cleese is masterful.
What?
As Uncle John. Yes, John Cleese is in this movie too. The rival of James, aka Father Christmas, and his 35-year-old American girlfriend basically ruins Caroline's hope for a perfect Christmas and sets off a series of mishaps, inconveniences, and misconstrued misunderstandings that uncover a long-buried secret. This movie was absolutely freaking hilarious. It was like Home Alone-esque, and it's like...
I'm getting the
total-
opinion it's more like Hallmark-esque.
No, it's not Hallmark. This is one completely messed up family.
So is there an actual Father Christmas in this?
He is. That's his name is James Christmas. He's the
Oh,
father of
so
the
he-
four
oh,
daughters.
he's not
the
Santa.
play on words
No.
there, because the last
Oh,
name
But
is
it's
so
a
well
Christmas
Father
movie. He comes
Christmas.
back at Christmas.
and it's at Christmas.
So
Exactly.
just so
And-
people know, this had a
and
international
hilarity
world.
ensues, apparently.
This is on.
This is a huge international world release on this.
This
Did
was
you
a
know that?
Netflix film.
No, yeah, but did you know that it was released November 7th of this year to wide acclaim and pulled in a worldwide gross
What, 10 million?
of $5,751.
Yeah, well.
Sounds
I'm
about
not
right.
speaking about the box office.
The theater release.
True. This film only got a 4.5 out of 10 on IMDb.
But it
So
got
I'm
a.
sure my fellow podcast mates will hate it.
Of course we
But
will.
I found it enjoyable, as will anybody who has ever had to deal with unwanted family during the holidays.
Well, we're about to watch.
There are plenty of Christmas hijinks, smattering of CLFs, and even some singing by Dr. Fraser Crane himself.
Does he eat scrambled eggs?
At some point, he probably does.
Oh, nice.
Here's a little nugget for you. John Cleese appeared on an episode of Cheers with Kelsey Grammer 34 years ago. I don't know if they remain friends all these years, but it's a joy to watch them together. Little spoiler, there is a hint of a fight scene between the two of them in the film.
Old people fighting.
It was hilarious. So if you're tired of the usual holiday films, this is worth a gander or even a goose. That's all I got.
I'm getting the goose on this one.
Okay.
That was my minute. I can do what the hell I want with it.
And you did.
And you did. So, just letting everybody know, we're not doing the list this week because we're holding off to the new year. And we're not doing a Rage or Dare because we need to cram through a ton of movies over the holiday season. You'll be seeing us next week. And then stay tuned for our second annual Krampus episode. So, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Some super rage love to our members, Julene from It Goes Down in the PM podcast, James and Philip, for their continued financial and moral support. To our extended Film Rage family, who you can find on our show notes. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Follow us at Audea, AUDEA.io / and then search Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch for Redbubble and TeePublic. We are always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe. And send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please make us rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.